Hi, I'm Angie Viehman, and welcome to Totally Clutch. This is the podcast for women like you to find ways to simplify your business and personal life. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. All right, welcome back to another episode of Totally Clutch, the Clutch Businesses podcast and vlog. I'm your host, Angie Viehman, and today I want to share with you 4 ways that you can build a business that lasts. And our conversation today lays a really nice foundation for our next episode, where we have a really special guest, Luis Baez, on the show. And basically, in today's episode and our next, we're going to be flipping the script on what we think will make our business successful versus what the numbers actually say. So with that, I want to share with you some kind of jaw-dropping facts before we dive in. So the first is that 50% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years of starting. Wow, that's powerful, right? You put all of this time and energy and love and passion and just everything that you've got into building this business that you believe in so much, and you've only got a 50% chance of it making it. Those numbers don't seem good. But the good news is that we actually know why those businesses don't succeed, why they don't make it. And so we'll talk about those today, and we'll talk about ways that you can avoid that fate for your business and ensure that this amazing, incredible idea, this amazing business that you've started is built to last, will stand the test of time. Okay, so then the second fact that this one just surprises me so much, and it really, yeah, it's powerful. It sends a message. So in the first year, high earning businesses, so businesses that make a lot in revenue, invest more in building teams than they do in marketing or on marketing. And low earning businesses, so businesses that don't make it very much in their first year, and this is just the first year, but those that don't make a lot in their first year actually invest more in marketing than they do in anything else. So high earning companies in the first year invest in building infrastructure and teams, whereas low earning businesses spend a good percentage, or the largest percentage, on marketing. Or I guess a better way to say it is that they spend a higher percentage than the average on marketing and less on teams. So that's so interesting for me, because I think a lot of business owners think that marketing is the ticket, that's where they should be putting all of their energy, all of their time. And don't get me wrong, marketing is very, very important, but it's also very important to build a system that is going to support all of those efforts, right? So as you're building interest and encouraging people to come in and check you out, you got to make sure that you're providing them a good experience. And so we'll dive into kind of what could be driving some of that, as we talk through some of the reasons why businesses don't, or what could hold the business back from making it past 5 years. Okay, so let's talk through. I've got 4. So the first thing that shows up in these businesses that don't make it past 5 years is a lack of capital. So this could be, and I'm sure it's different for every business, but overall, this could be that they're not clear on how much money they actually need in order to get this thing off the ground. So they maybe underestimate the amount of resources, the length of time it's going to take to build up some momentum, or they underestimate the amount of money that they're going to need to invest in people, in staff, or maybe in developing the product or the service itself. But the bottom line is they don't have enough money to get it off the ground in a way that is sustainable. So a lot of companies, they might have enough capital for the first 6 months, but if they don't start generating the revenue that they plan to generate after that 6 months, then they don't really have a leg to stand on. They can't sustain that. Okay, the second, so we've got lack of capital, we've got poor management is the second. So they don't have the right team in place, or they're not managing that team well enough to create a sustainable structure, a sustainable business. And that could mean that they're not utilizing those that they have in place to their fullest, or it could mean that they aren't making the hires that they need to in order to meet the demands. So, and I'm sure there's a couple of other options, but those are really the two main ones. And so you can think about it, it's hard to hand things off, especially as an entrepreneur, and especially as somebody who wore all the hats at the beginning. It is hard to hand those hats over to somebody else and trust them to do as good of a job as you did, and to really take it to heart in the way that you do, because it's not their business. So if you're underutilizing those that you have in place, or you're not willing, and hiring people is scary. It is a big investment. It's a big emotional investment. It's a big financial investment. So just getting really clear, and let's jump into the third one, before I go too far. But so the third reason, or the third thing that shows up in the companies that don't make it, are that they don't have a solid business plan in place. So they never created one, or they kind of halfway did. And this ties into poor management in this way, that I think when you're creating your business plan, and we'll talk about all of the things that go into that, but when you're creating your business plan, I think it's the best time to just be really honest with yourself about the resources that you're going to need, about the team that you want to have in place to support this amazing vision that you have, this amazing plan and strategy and business that you're creating. And the reason being is that you're usually creating the business plan before things get rolling, right? Before the doors open, before the clients show up, all of that kind of stuff. And so you have a really nice objective viewpoint of it. You're not in the mix. You're not in things that haven't gotten messy. You're not like pulling your hair out or running around like a chicken with its head cut off. So you've got a different perspective than you do, 6 months after you have your first client, where things are getting a little crazy. So okay, so lack of capital, poor management, and then not having a solid business plan. So let's talk about all the things that go into a solid business plan. So the first is, just a general statement, a general idea about the business that you're creating. Are you selling products? Are you selling services? Are you selling a mix of both? And what are they? And who are your clients going to be? Who are your customers going to be? All of those types of things. That's creating the general vision of what you're building. And then you want to get really, really clear, really detailed about the products and the services that you're going to be offering. So what are the products? How many of them are there going to be? What are the services? When are you going to be launching them? So is everything launched the second that you say the doors are open? Or are you going to start out with one and then 6 months later release the other, and so on and so forth? You want to get really clear about that. And then you want to do some market analysis. And this basically is going to tell you whether or not you have a viable product, or whether you have a viable offering, I'll just say. So whether it's a product or a service. And this market research can also be a really great place for you to get clear on the messaging that you can use for your potential and future customers. So you can start to pull out the language that they're using, and also vet your offering to make sure that it's something that they need and that they want and they can see the value in it. And then you want to make sure that you have a clear strategy and a clear implementation plan. So how are you going to make that strategy come to fruition? And again, you're not in the mix at this point. You have a beautiful objective view of what it's going to take to create that strategy to make it all happen. instead of, when you're, not sleeping, you're putting out all of these fires, you're being pulled in 50 different directions. This is all happening before that goes down, right? So you can be really honest with yourself, you can be really objective, and be really detailed about it, knowing that it can change, right? So just because it's in your business plan doesn't mean that things can shift, but when you've got it documented and written down, it's going to be harder for you to have the shiny object syndrome where you're just like jumping from thing to thing all the time. Every decision that you make can always come back to this business plan. Like, how, okay, so I make that decision, how is that going to impact all of the other things in my business? Which is a super super healthy and effective way to be making decisions in your business. Okay, then we get to talk about what we were talking about in terms of the management, or lack of management, is getting really clear on the team that you need to build, the team that you need to have on board to make all of this stuff happen. So again, happening before the business is live and rocking and rolling, get really clear on, do you need all of this staff right away, or can you trickle them in? Maybe you bring somebody on, after 2 months, maybe you bring them on after a year. And what are those actual positions? So what tasks, what things, what vision are you going to need, from somebody else to pull, to make your plan all come together really nicely. Okay, and then you want to make sure that you're clear on your financial plan and your sales projections. So, where are you going to get the money to do this? How much money do you need in order to do it? And then, what are your sales projections? What are you planning to make in terms of revenue? How many clients do you need? How many customers? How many people do you need to buy what you are offering in order to make that happen? And when do you think that's going to happen? So, are you going to have 20 purchases the first month and 40 the second? Like, what kind of growth are you planning for? Okay, so we've got lack of capital, we've got poor management, we've got, kind of a shoddy business plan, and then the fourth thing is overspending. So spending too much in areas that are not paying off in the way that you need them to. So overspending, basically the categories of spending that I've got, and this varies obviously by business and by industry, but you've got operations, you've got product and shipping if you're doing a product based, business. But even if you're doing services, sometimes there's costs, associated with that. So you've got operations, product and shipping, marketing, and then your team or your staff. So, we talked about, when I was sharing the facts with you, how the companies that didn't earn as much the first year overspent in their marketing. And the reason, so how that works, or what that kind of tells you, is that maybe their messaging is off, or maybe their website isn't converting. Where, so if you find yourself overspending in some of these categories, it doesn't necessarily, it's not a make or break it, right? You have the option. You're a small business, you can pivot, you can swivel, you can make changes, but you want to make sure that you're watching those things, that you're aware of those numbers, and you're aware of the levers that you can pull in order to create, or to impact change, right? And to impact the outcome and level things off for yourself. So, just to give you a rough idea, the operations category, you want to be spending about 10 to 15% of your overall revenue on those things. The product and shipping, again, this only comes into play if you are a product-based business, but you want your product and shipping to be 40 to 50% of your overall revenue. And anything higher than that gets real dangerous. So if you're in the higher category, or you're in the higher threshold, start to partner with your vendors and see if you can get your costs down. See if you can shift your assortment so that you're not spending, the items that you have lower margin on, people aren't buying as much of. Or there's tons of things that you can do, but basically you don't want to be spending more than 50% of your revenue on your product and shipping costs. And then your marketing costs, you want to be in the range of about 7 to 12%. Anything higher than that means that you've got a bit of a problem. You're not converting people in the way that you should be. And so you're just kind of dumping money on something that's not proven, basically. So you got to you don't have to completely go back to the drawing board, but start to pull those levers, start to ask questions of your customers, of your clients. And this actually, I should have said this at the beginning, but this is a common theme in all of the episodes that we're going to be doing, and an unintentional theme, but an unintentional theme in all of the episodes this year is connect with your customers, connect with your clients. Don't make assumptions about what they need, about what they're looking for. Ask them. And that not only makes your marketing more effective, but it also makes the experience richer for your customers. So rather than having to find new customers all the time, you're developing this really beautiful relationship with them. And so, you'll hear more about that in episodes to come, but check in with your customers. Make sure that your marketing is hitting and connecting and getting them to do what they want to do, right? That's why we're all here. You have an amazing offering. You have something that you believe in, that is going to solve somebody's problem, change their life, whatever it is. You just have to make sure that they know that. And talking to them is the best way to figure out how to do that. And then, okay, so we did operations, product shipping, marketing, and then your team. You want to be about 14, well, let's just say 15 to 30% of your revenue. And that ensures, so, using these percentages, if you're watching them on a regular basis, and that could be, every week, that could be once a month, but you want to make sure that you are looking at them, because there are levers that you can pull. If you're spending less on your team than 15 to 30%, you probably are going to be hitting some bottlenecks. You're probably not maximizing your revenue potential, and you're holding yourself back. And so that's okay. We've all been there. We've all done it. But once you realize that it's there, then how the reckoning hits, and what are you going to do about it? How are you holding yourself back, and how can you step into that? How can you get comfortable with bringing people on? Is it making sure, is it getting comfortable with the right person, like the right role, or is it just getting comfortable with having people in your business doing stuff that you have done? So just using these as a checks and balance, basically. And again, if they get off, no big deal. Just correct. Make sure that you are correcting. This is just a problem to solve. It doesn't mean anything about you. It's not personal. It's happened to everybody at some point in their business, right? Okay. So I just want to go over these again. The things that have shown up time and time again in businesses that do not make it past 5 years are a lack of capital, poor management, a poor business plan, and overspending. So what can you do? I mean, we've talked about this, throughout, but lack of capital. Actually, let's start with a solid business plan, because I feel like this is where it all stems from. Get crystal freaking clear on your business plan. Put in the time and the energy to lay it all out in as much detail as you possibly can, and maybe then show it to an accountant, or somebody with some financial savvy that can vet it for you, that can say, you know what, this looks like it might be a little bit of a problem, just so that you know that it is solid. because then again, you can use that as a place to make all of your decisions. You can use that as a place to track your performance, to see where you're going, and then you'll know where you're going to end up. Okay, so start out with your business plan, crystal clear. If you're already in business and you don't feel like you've got a solid business plan, no big deal. Again, just take a CEO day and lay it all out and get clear. And that'll make a huge difference. And the reason that I say that is, okay, so lack of capital, this is, you're going to know exactly what kind of capital, exactly when you're going to need it if you've got a solid business plan. And if things look like they're going to be short, that's okay. You just go out and find it. Is it dipping into your savings? Hopefully not, but maybe. Is it shifting, finding grants, finding investors, whatever it is, you've got an opportunity to correct. Okay, so business plan, lack of capital, or let's shift this. Let's talk about it in a positive light, because this is how you're going to change the outcome of your business. So make sure that you have a solid business plan. Make sure that you have a solid plan, that you have enough capital to support your vision and your strategy and everything that you're going to need to build and sustain this awesome business. And then make sure that you are a kick-ass manager, that you've got kick-ass managers in place, and that people are clear on their roles, their responsibilities, and that your processes are solid, right? And that might mean bringing somebody in to help you do all of that, but just make sure that the people that you're paying, that you're using them to their fullest potential, and make sure that you're bringing people on when you need to. And then spend the right amount in the right areas at the right times. And that will make sure, that will ensure that your finances are solid, that your revenue is coming in, that you've got everything tied up in a nice, neat little bow, and then you can weather the storm. Okay. So find your capital, make your management, make sure that you are managing like a rock star, have a solid business plan, and maybe share that with that awesome team that you bring on so that they're all clear. And then make sure, watch your spending and make corrections where you need to. And that, my friend, is 4 ways that you can build a business that lasts. And so if you've got any questions, I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out at hello@clutchbusinesses.com. And be sure to tune in to our next episode with Luis Baez. And he's flipping the script on, so I love his episode. He talks about meeting your new boo, your business order of operations. So rather than, again, focusing on marketing first, he is going to talk to us about and share with us how we can build a really solid product, a really solid offering from the very beginning. And that then is the launch, the catalyst for this, for your business to just thrive. All right. Well, thanks so much for being here today. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for being a part of this community. And I believe in you, and I believe in your business, and I am here to support you in any way that I can. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. Rate and review this podcast and share it with all of your friends. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you're leaving with some great things that can help you move from hustle to flow, because I believe in you and your business. Until next time.